And so I've got the pieces selected for the second story, our second floor, what will extrude, the vellum pieces, the windows, a door, and the shutters. I'll copy those, and we will bring it up to a new file and paste it in. Let's bring this over here and bring these to where they're in view. I've decided that I'm going to add one more window on our house, and it's going to be on the left side where there is no chimney. So I'm just going to duplicate this piece, and I'm going to duplicate the vellum piece. I'm going to duplicate the door as a cutout. And I might want a couple of extra shutters also on the side of the house, so we'll duplicate those as well. With our main piece, make sure that it is straight lines. So with your node tool and that selected, Control A to get all your nodes, and click on Make Segments Lines. Select this item, Extensions, Papercraft, Extruder. Again, our height of extrusion, because we'll have a 3-inch high story, second story, will be 3 inches. Maximum size that it should construct is 11.4 inches. And the rest of these, it's always an outline and apply. Close this window. Let's move these apart so we see what we're working on. These are decorative pieces. I'll change the colors on those to make it easier to tell them apart. Make it a nice yellow in this case. This is our first story and our second story. Because I want the light to come from our first floor up through the second floor and then into the roof eventually, I want both of these to be ring structures. They are identical pieces, so we only need to do one and duplicate it. So I'm going to duplicate that, and then I'm going to use a Control 9 and bring this in until I like the size of it. Select both that piece and the inner piece and Control Shift minus. Then just duplicate this. That's our top and bottom floor area. The next thing we're going to do is take the front of our house and the front panel of the decorative paper and cut out our windows and door. Let's find out which piece is which. This is 3, this is 1. Let's rotate it. This is wrapper 1, let's rotate it. Remember, 0 will be here, 1 is the front of our house. And let's bring this up here. And I also said that I wanted to do on the left side of the house, which would be piece 0. Piece 0, main piece 0. I want to rotate that because I want a window over there, and wrapper 0, rotate that. I want to put a window up here. Okay, this part is actually pretty easy. Turn on snapping. Grab your wrapper piece, bring it to the top. Make sure it's snapped into place. Do that on both of them. Bring it to the top and snap it into place. Take your window cutout. Duplicate it twice. Bring it up to the top if you need to. Your door. If you bury something in back of everything and click off of it, use your Alt key and just click over that area until you get to it, and then you can bring it to the top. In order to get this aligned nicely, I'm going to select these three with Control-Shift-A for align and align them at the top. Then bring them to the bottom of the decorative piece. To get them spaced well, I'm going to use my Bezier pen with the Control down, click a line on each side of your decorative paper. Select the line, holding down your Shift key, the window, the door, the window, and the line on the left. And then come over to distribute the gaps or make the horizontal gaps between objects equal. This is on your line panel. Okay. Select the door and the windows. Do a Control-K to make it a single path. Duplicate it. Select your wrapper paper and the cutout. Control-Shift-, and you're done with this piece. Break this piece apart so that the score lines are not part of it. Control-Shift-K. Select your cutouts and the main part of that part that doesn't have isn't score lines. Control-Shift-. Then send this to the back so you can see your score lines. Select all of it and Control-K. Now, I'm seeing something in here I don't like, and what I don't like is I'm seeing a solid line over here. I think what happened was I didn't just delete that when I should have. So, well, I make mistakes too. I'm going to Control-Z back out of this. Okay, we've got this piece done. That line needs to go away. Then we can break this apart. Control-Shift-K. Select our cutout path, select that path, Control-Shift-. Send it to the back. Select everything and Control-K. Let's see what we have here. Oh, that looks pretty good. The only thing here is that I lost my color, so let's go ahead and give it a color. Press D and click a couple of times to get the color back. We're going to do the same thing over here. The only thing that I want to change is I want to start by lining this up because I want this window to be the same height as that window. And then I'm just going to use my right arrow to just bring it over into this part. Then I want to center it horizontally here. And because it moved a little bit, I'm going to just drag it back. Now Control-Shift, oops, not quite yet. Take this cutout piece and duplicate it. With the decorative piece, Control-Shift- to do a cutout. With this complex piece, break it apart, Control-Shift-K. Select the main part and the cutout, Control-Shift-. Send it to the back. Then select it all, Control-K to make it into a single complex path. All right, so we have our cutouts, we have our rings. The door, we still need to put a tab on. We'll do the same thing we did before. And let's just zoom in on it. With your node tool, F2, click on the edge. The right-hand side is where I'm going to put my tabs. Add some extra nodes in here. As many as you want, but keep the top one and the bottom one. And delete the ones in the middle there. So what you have is a tab or a node near the top and a node near the bottom. Then select that segment, use your shift and right arrow, and you've got it, the tab. With your Bezier tool, B, and I still have snapping on, so that's good. I'm going to click on that node, hold my control key down, go most of the way. With my, I'm going to select a fifth, we're going to first center these two, up and down. Then I'm going to make this into a dashed line with the fill tool, stroke style, dashes, long dash. And remember, this is still only a couple of nodes. Actually, it says 3 nodes. I'm going to point out why that could be a problem in some cutting software. So the problem we have here is that there's an extra node in here. We're going to change that to modify path and convert to dashes. Now we have 21 nodes. There's an extra node somewhere, either at one end or the other. So let's take a close look at that with the node tool. And I'm going to select these 2 end nodes right there. It says I have 2 of them selected. Just click here to join them. Now there's only 1. Now you should always have an even number of nodes, and if I were to use my select tool, we see that there's now 20 nodes. It may not affect your cutting software, but I have seen it cause a problem, so it's just something to check. It will either be at the first or the last node where you have that extra node. So it's easy enough to fix. Our door now has a tab. The only thing I still want to do is make that into a single path with the score lines and the shape of the door, Control K. I'll reset the color, and we are good to go. All right, I think that is everything that we need for the second story of our house. And we will move on to the balcony level next. It's essentially the same thing as the foundation. One last little bit of cleanup I'm going to do here. I'm going to come over to my objects panel and just get rid of this layer here, the layer dock. Then I'm going to save, and my file is ready. This file is ready for the cutting machine.